Hello once again, and yes, I've got another subject to talk about, and it's something I'm interested in. You know, I like making videos and all sorts of things. I was thinking about getting one of these drones. I would like to get one of these drones. I'm not gonna. I'm not going to deny it. I've always, when I first saw one, I thought, wow, I fucking want one of these. Obviously, the controls, it's going to take a lot to get used to because you fly it via Wi-Fi, via a phone or a tablet. I think there's third-party software that you can fly it via a computer, and that would be fucking awesome if I could fly it via a joystick. Mainly this joystick, my Thrustmaster. Now that would be awesome to look at a computer screen, flying it with this joystick, obviously with the camera, looking at the camera view of the drone. That would be something I would enjoy. Yeah. I mean, it all started years ago, not by the drones, but it all started years ago when I left school. I originally wanted to get a radio controlled plane, but back in the day they were really expensive. I think the cheapest one was about near enough £1,000 for a plane, and plus you have to worry about sorting out yourself a license and somewhere to fly it, because I live quite close to Biggin Hill Airport, maybe about just under 4 miles away where I live. So this could also be a concern to the drone, because I know they're putting restrictions out on with drones these days. They're talking about you've got to learn to fly it, they're talking about you have to register it and things like that. Okay, well that's fair enough, because it is basically like the days when you had to have a radio controlled plane or a helicopter. You had to have a license. Not necessarily flying lessons, but you did have to have a license. Obviously, because they're very dangerous. If you can't fly them, you fly them in the air, you can kill someone with them easily. Especially with the propeller, the speed they go, you could do a lot of damage with them. So yes, I can understand that. With the drones, obviously, the technology are fantastic these days. It's done by wireless and GPS and all that. So flying it with your phone, that's something else. I'm not fans of touch screens and all that, so I don't know if I'd enjoy the experience with a phone or a tablet. I would definitely love the experience with a joystick plugged into the computer. That would be absolutely brilliant. Or maybe might have a controller or something like that, I don't know. But I know they're usually all done by Wi-Fi, so you fly with the phone or the tablet, something like that. But that would be something I would enjoy. I don't know about the controls, but obviously everything you try and get used to. So I would definitely have a go, because especially the camera, imagine the recordings you can do with that. Flying, take it over the park or something like that, flying above the trees, getting low, and that would just be brilliant. Flying it through things when you're very good, like high speeds, and I just think that would just be a lot of fun to make videos with. The only problem is the audio, because all you're going to hear is with the engines, the motors spinning around. So obviously you ain't going to get very good audio, just the sound of the motors. But I suppose you can redub it with some music or whatever. Yeah, it'll sound pretty good. Because as I say, it all started off with when I left school many years ago. I wanted to start off with a plane, but I didn't get a plane, obviously, because they was too expensive. So what I did, I started off with radio controlled cars. I think that was a good step, learning with radio controlled cars, because obviously you had to build them. I'm not talking about cheap shitty things, I'm talking about the Tamiya ones, the ones you had to kit ones where you get to build and make yourself, grease the gearboxes and paint the chassis, not the chassis, the shell, adjust the suspension, put oil in the suspension with the dampers and all that, all sorts of things. I just thought that was great. I loved that. I owned quite a few cars. I bought one. Obviously, the first one I fucked up because I wanted to build it. So it took me ages to build this fucking car. And when I built it, it wasn't right. I don't know what was right. Just not experienced, you know. So yeah, I had a few of these cars and. You know, had a truck, car, all different like off-road buggy type things, two-wheel drive cars, four-wheel drive cars, bought different accessories for them, different batteries for it, different motors. When I got more experience, different faster motors, longer lasting batteries, speed controllers, because it was a mechanical one and I bought an electrical one, all sorts of things, changing the crystals on the radio part, so obviously you can have different frequencies so you can race with your mates. Yeah, so there was a few of us that got into it, so yeah, so we had a few different cars, we started racing. It was just great times, brilliant. I think that lasted for about 4 or 5 years. Then, you know, went far, we just did other things, but I think that led me up to maybe I was thinking about when I was learning to drive at this time, maybe when I get a real car, maybe it would have helped me get into real cars, but it didn't. It just didn't. I just couldn't gel with real cars. You know, I was driving and all that, but mechanically, I just couldn't really get into fixing them or dealing with them or nothing like that. Just didn't want to know. I thought that was a bit strange, you know, doing all the radio controlled cars, you know, learning about the mechanics on them, you know, fixing them up, adjusting everything. But when it comes to real cars, it just, I don't know, it just didn't interest me in the same way. Maybe because it was a different expense, different sort of, everything was bigger, you know. I don't know, more mechanics involved, you know, just I don't know, it just did not, real cars just did not interest me mechanically. So I just lost interest. So maybe that what helped me get into computers, learning about computers, taking them apart, learning with them. I think that was more on the same lines, if anything, because I don't know, the parts are smaller, you can just change bits. And I just think, to me, it was more fun to learn. But then now I want to maybe do these drones, have a look at the drones. Because it does interest me, it fascinates me, you know, to fly one of these things, you know, especially with the camera recording and all that. It's just a pity. It's just a pity, like the camera technology weren't about then, like our miniaturisation of the cameras. And obviously, when I was into all these radio controlled cars, this was back in the very early 90s. So obviously there wasn't no small cameras around, there was no internet. I think the internet just came out, but it's nothing like today, you know. We didn't have the web pages it was just all text based. Now it's just everything, you can do anything online, but we didn't have none of that. Obviously you didn't have the miniature cameras that run off a little battery, didn't have none of that. I didn't even have a camcorder in the very early 90s. I got mine in '94, I think. It was a big fucking thing like that. I couldn't attach that to a car. Yeah, it would look pretty shit with a big camera. I think the chassis was something like that, but the camera was about the same size, so it would have been a lot of messing about trying to mount a camera on it at the time. So that wasn't going to happen. Yeah, so it's a shame really, but obviously I don't have any of those radio controlled cars anymore today. But I just thought maybe the drones might be a new thing for me. I think because you make them, you build them, you can attach whatever camera, you can do all sorts of things. I was having a word with a person about this a couple of years ago, who was telling me about how to go about getting a drone, ignore that. So that would be something I would definitely think about. So I think I would have a lot of fun with the drones. But then again, I've got to look into, because I live quite, as I said, I live quite close to an airport, just under 4 miles away. So that might be a factor. Then I said, you know, could where I live be a no-fly zone? All sorts of things. I just got to look into all this, and the price. I don't know. If I want a real good one, I'll probably have to pay. I don't know. I know I can get a £200 one, but maybe it'd be good to learn with. Good to learn with. You know, get used to it until you know. It's like everything. You learn with it, then you build you get better. You get more advanced. Once you learn, you buy better and more expensive stuff. So it's best to start with something, you know, reasonably cheap, so you can just fly it, get used to it, and have fun with it, like everything else. So yeah, I would definitely consider it. I would definitely consider getting myself a drone. I mean, if I could fly it around where I can. If not, well, that's something I would have to look into first before I purchased one. But you know, we'll see. I'd love to make videos with a drone. That would just be brilliant. That would just be the sky's the limit. Yeah. The sky's the limit, but they'll probably nick it off me because I shouldn't be flying it. Oh well, that's another thing, isn't it? But as I say, I'll look into it first. So would you get a drone? Anyone out? Does it interest anyone out there getting a drone? Because I know it interests me. Well, we'll see if I get one or not. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, and goodbye.